Hello, everyone, and I'm really touched that I'm here in this conference because it's my first time as a JavaScript conference, and the second time in Stockholm, and I really enjoy it already. So today I want to talk to you a little bit more about type refactoring. What does it mean? It means refactoring made simple with TypeScript. And before I start, I have a question for you. Do you use any type control system, like TypeScript on Flow? Please raise your hand. Who is using that? Cool. So that talk, it maybe not suit for you, but for the other people who are here, I have a problem. The problem is that back in my days when I was working in the project, I have this problem. I have to refactor a bunch of code. And normally when you are doing refactoring in TypeScript, it's like that, you know? You do it, you want to refactor some piece of code, you go inside, and then everything's broke. And I had this problem that I have to refactor a bunch of code. If it was a plain old JavaScript, it would be possible to have this refactor in one day. But with TypeScript, I managed to remove about 2,000 lines of code from my project in one day without any problems. How I did that? Basically, the first main solution is that I have to use TypeScript. And using TypeScript is awesome. At the beginning, I thought, yeah, it's a little bit of more work to do. I have to write all these types, these things that are not needed anymore. Why do I need to write this bunch of additional code to my code base? But then it strikes me when I heard this phrase that types increase your agility when doing refactoring. What does it mean? It's better for the compiler to catch errors than to have things fail in runtime. What does it mean? It means that when I remove some piece of code, I'll run one command using TypeScript compiler, and it tells me which part of my code is broken, or either wrong types, or there is missing dependencies that I have. So the most important thing in the TypeScript world is this TypeScript compiler, and this is called TSC Command. And this is the most basic thing when you are doing refactoring, when you're removing the lines of your code. To make sure that everything works, you just basically run this one line, this TSC no emit, which means that you are not emitting any TypeScript files, but you are checking your code for the TypeScript errors. And using that command, right now, as you can see in this screen, everything is OK. But when I remove a bunch of codes, as you can see here, I have a missing component that is this component is no longer here. And this is how I did this refactoring. When I was moving a part of my code and going to the different places and removing it completely, I decided to basically run this compile in the watch mode. So every time I save my file, it reruns whole my project one more time and give me some errors during that. And based on that, I could remove these 2,000 lines of code in one day, and nothing breaks. And for me, it was mind-blowing, because normally, if I remove even one line of code in the JavaScript, everything breaks. So what are other tools that I use to have this working and going? The next one is, because I use, this will be mostly VS Code tips, so to speak, because I use VS Code, it's written in TypeScript. So I use these code references. As you can see here, just above my export, I have 4 references here. And it also really helps me, because you can enable it, I believe. I don't know if you can enable it for the old plain JavaScript, but for the TypeScript, you can easily see if your function or your component, it depends on your use case, is used in different places. And then if there is no references for that, you can easily remove it. If there will be some break, the TSC command will shout at you. So the next thing is about renames. You can do renames in the VS Code. You can move bits part of the code here. And as I'm going out of my time, I want to summary the TypeScript is awesome for refactoring. Thank you.